Better late than never, but I have my January reading recap review to do now. I had such good intentions of getting it knocked out the first week of February, but both kids were sick, and then I got sick, and it just didn't happen. But it's happening now because it's take your child to work day, so my husband took the kids to work. My mom is still sleeping. Pretzel's hanging out with me. It's raining outside. Let's get these book reviews done. I read 2 books in January. One is a book I owned and the other is a library book. And I have not checked out a library book to read in years, 5+ years. But I decided to try to work some library books into my rotation. We're at the library at least once a week. So you might see some library books as well. The first book I read was The Commoner by John Burnham Schwartz, and this was a gift from a TikTok friend a while ago, and I finally got to reading it. And I read this book from January 1st to January 19th. I'm trying to give myself daily reading quotas to meet so I can just finish books faster. I feel better when I read them quicker than I did last year, and it's not like I'm forcing myself. Sometimes I go over my daily quota because I'm just so lost in what I'm reading, but I like feeling that accomplishment. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm going to read the back because, like I said, it's been a while since I read it, and I want to just give you an accurate plot for this book. In 1959, a young woman, Haruko, marries the Crown Prince of Japan. She is the first non-aristocratic woman to enter the mysterious monarchy. Met with cruelty and suspicion by the Empress, Haruko is controlled at every turn, suffering a nervous breakdown after finally giving birth to a son. 30 years later, now Empress herself, she plays a crucial role in persuading another young woman to accept the marriage proposal of her son, with tragic consequences. I have not read a book like this before. I admit my Japanese reading historical fiction is truly limited, and that's why I was drawn to this. And, you know, there is such a romanticized feeling about a commoner marrying a prince and true love and a lifetime Hallmark feel-good movie experience. And I knew this book was not going to deliver that, and that's why I wanted to read it. I did not want to have a happily ever after feel-good experience about something like this, because how hard must it be to be just your average gal marrying a prince that is, a prince of such ancestral genealogy and such tradition, such deeply rooted cultural traditions that in no way focus on the well-being of the person. It's all about doing and participating and accomplishing the traditions of being emperor and empress and producing a male heir. This book is tragic. It is sad. The love story does not make up for the sadness, and that's okay. That's okay that this is not going to make you feel butterflies in your stomach. And honestly, I was often sitting going, were they in love? Was it not just a crush that, they took advantage of, oh, you like somebody? The prince likes somebody? We'll get them married. Doesn't matter that they're a commoner that he's interested in. Finally, he's found someone. But I didn't get a sense it was true love. Did they love and appreciate each other as the decades went on? Yes. But I don't know that it was true love to start with. It didn't come across that way to me. But like the synopsis said, fast forward 30 years, and she, the former commoner, is trying to talk another woman who is educated and has a career into giving it all up to marry her son. And she has to do this through gritted teeth because she knows that this woman is going to give up everything to become enveloped into this family and marry their son. And it is going to take great sacrifice. But she has to say, don't worry, I've got your back. And if you are ever struggling, I will help you. Deep down knowing she can offer little more than an ear, not much more. But this woman, the emperor, the new emperor, the commoner, finds a way to heal all of her inner hurt through the marriage and through this new woman who is supposed to become the empress one day as well. So she gets to heal herself while helping somebody. So there is an adequate ending. Is it feel good happy? Not necessarily. And like I said, that's okay. But there is a sense of closure and accomplishment. At the end of this video, I will have a couple quotes, but that wraps up The Commoner. The next book is the library book, and I'm just covering up some information about the library. It's probably unnecessary, but humor me in my privacy attempt here. But it is called Chasing the Horizon by Mary Connealy, and it is the first in a series. And when I picked this up, I didn't know that, but it is the first in a Western Light series. I just went and browsed the new books at the library, those shelves, while my kids were wrapping up a library event, and I saw this and said, why not? And I saw another book next to it by the same author, and I should have put together, it might be a part 2. I just assumed the author, was just churning out those books. But let me read you the synopsis. Upon uncovering the tyrannical father's plot to commit her to an asylum, Beth Rutledge fabricates a plan of her own. She will rescue her mother, who had already been sent to the asylum, and escape together on a wagon train heading west. Posing as sisters, Beth and her mother travel with the pioneers in hopes of making it to Idaho before others start asking too many questions. Wagon train scout Jake Holt senses that the mysterious women in his caravan are running from something. When rumors begin to spread of Pinkerton agents searching relentlessly for wanted criminals who match the description of those on his wagon train, including Beth, she begins to open up to him, and he learns something more sinister is at hand. Can they risk trusting each other with their lives and their hearts when danger threatens their every step? So I read this book from January 20th to January 31st. It is an extremely easy read. It is not difficult at all. And I gave it a 3 out of 5. And ironically, I rated it less than The Commoner, but I enjoyed reading it more. It's just what was in The Commoner resonated more. I'm a complicated person, I guess. But I will also say, and I didn't know this, that the publishing company is Bethany House, which is a Christian publishing company. And I didn't put anything together. I'm not familiar with Christian publishing companies until they started quoting some Bible verse and things like that. Was it shoved down my throat? No. Did it make me uncomfortable? No. But just as a forewarning, in case something like that bothers you, this is a Christian-based book. But it didn't bother me. Now, is this predictable? Oh, yes. Is this a Lifetime Hallmark cozy movie type of book? Also, yes. But it didn't bother me too much. Usually those things get to me, the predictable, cheesy, overly sweet romance. But this one, there was enough going on, enough drama, enough who's that, are they going to be caught, what's going on, will they be found out? There was enough of that to dilute the thick romance, if that makes sense. If anything, it really got me thinking of just how easily it could have been back in this time to just start your life over, live off the grid, erase your personal history and just become someone else. Change your name, change your past, and assume a new beginning and future for yourself. And even if people doubted you or questioned you, there was just so many people out there trying to start fresh that they just let you go on, assuming who you were assuming to be. And it also just drove home, which I already knew from all my historical reading, these wagon trails, and you moved and you said goodbye. You parted ways from loved ones, from friends, from your past. There was really no easy way to go back. And even though, as in this book, we had trains that were starting to go the same path as these wagon trails and trains and caravans, it still took money and time to travel, and you couldn't necessarily pack up everything that you would on a wagon as you could in a train unless you had money to, rent cars and whatnot. Beth and Jake's friendship, and then something more. I mean, there's no spoiler. It's a given. It's a given. It was sweet. It was predictable. Could I, see this on a TV movie? Could this be turned into a Christmas movie potentially? Sure, why not? It was sappy, but it didn't, give me icks, give me secondhand embarrassment. I just watched everything unfold. Will I read the second one? Sure. It'll probably be my next library book that I check out after I return this one. When it ended and I read then the next little, excerpt for the second book, it didn't hook me in going, I gotta get in my car and get this book right now. And I closed the book, and if the library didn't have the second one, I'd be fine. There's no cliffhanger. I wasn't that connected that I have to become even more invested in everyone's lives. But if the book is there, I'll read it. But I'm not being kept up at night going, what happens? What happens? It's not that type of ending. Now, I don't know if it's because there was truly no memorable lines in this book, or if it's because I knew this was a library book and I couldn't keep it and put my little stickers in it and tuck it away for myself. But I have no lines for this book that I marked as memorable. So take that as you will. So those are the two books I read in January. And I think I'm off to a good reading start. I've enjoyed what I've read so far. And up next, the quotes that are from The Commoner. So until next time, happy reading. Bye.